Okay, so there's people who defend Islam that aren't Muslims, and this is the worst apologia I've ever come across, right? I've come across stupid arguments defending Christianity where it's done more damage than good. But this has to be the dumbest thing, and I don't think it was said by a Muslim, because the person didn't have an Arab name. That doesn't necessarily mean anything, but they seemed like a Westerner, probably white. That's probably me just being racist. So on my video where I talk about, hey, Sahih al-Bukhari, from, like 700,000 ahadith, whittled down to 4,000, 2,300 of which were unique. The rest were just duplicates. And that was about 250, 300 years after Muhammad supposedly lived. Not to mention, Sirat Rasulullah by Ibn Ishaq is 150 years after Muhammad had lived, except that book doesn't exist anymore. We have the Recension by Ibn Hisham, which was 50 years later. So, and that contains the satanic verses. And I go through this, and I go through the early buildings. The direction of the Qiblas are a different direction. The coinage, and this was the response of the person. Well, of course, they would have crosses and figures of humans on there, and depictions of prophets and of animals. Now, human beings and animals, you can't make a drawing of or depict them or sculpt them, because on the last day, God will command you to command what you have that idol to speak, and if you can't do it, you go straight to hell. So that's why they will draw plants and geometric designs, but a devout Muslim would never draw an animal or a human being. But they're apparently minting them on their coins, right? And the goal of Jesus in Islam, when he returns, is to break all the crosses. So this person's excuse for why early Islamic coins or early Saracen coins had crosses and humans on them was because most of their population was Christian. And that's why for the first 60 years you had, things that were blasphemous or at least haram on the coins. Doesn't make too much sense, does it? Because it's not until Abdul Malik that we get the first coins that don't have images. Muawiyah he has this full body on his coins. But yeah, so the Zoroastrians, screw them, but the Christians, what's the most offensive thing to the Muslims about Christianity? The cross. So the Muslims, we're to believe the Muslims put the cross on the coins, and then this person tried to claim, well, Arabic wouldn't be instantly, wouldn't be used automatically. They'd be using Greek for a while, or Latin, or Aramaic, or Syriac. But I don't know where she got that, because as soon as the Arabs come in, Arabic is being used. There's a chronicle that's in Greek, and as soon as the invasion of Palestine happens, it shifts to Arabic, and it's done by Christians because they're keeping records. So yeah, things were written in it. Islam brings Arabic with it, and certainly the Umayyad period brought Arabic with it. My argument is that the Pashtun Caliphate could not have existed, and that the Quran itself could not have taken place in Mecca, nor was there the Kaaba that you see today was built in the 1600s. A flood had completely destroyed it, so the king of that region of Arabia at the time commissioned all new stones to be quarried. So it's not even the original stones. And the accountability of the Black Stone is sketchy at best, because the Karamatans stole it, smashed it, ransomed it, and then it was stolen again. And then as many times as the Kaaba has been destroyed, the Black Stone fell out of it. So, I mean, it's just ludicrous. And I'd love to hear Islamic answers on this, because I think Muslims are kept in the dark about these things, or have never asked that, because, yeah, the Gospels, maybe they were written, 30 years later, right? Which is within living memory, like Vietnam or even World War II. What the fuck is going on? But it's 300 years before we get a biography, or the most reliable collection of hadith, of ahadith, by Sahih al-Bukhari. One guy whittles down 700,000 ahadith to 4,000. And only 2,300 of them are unique. Some of them are duplicates of the same story. Not to mention all the flora and fauna can only exist in Palestine. It can't exist in Mecca. Mecca does not have a climate conducive to vineyards and cattle and olive orchards, and yeah. But I'd love to hear what Muslims have to say about this. Peace to you.